What's up, guys? The Denver Broncos show. Evan here, back again, here to do another video this week. I promised you guys earlier in the week when I made my video about the NFL lockout being over and having football back that I would make another video this week to touch on any news and notes regarding the Denver Broncos this offseason, any free agent signings that we had made or any trades that we had made. And unfortunately, so far the Broncos really haven't done anything at all in the free agent market. We haven't really been active when it comes to any free agent signings or even in the free agent market at all. There's been a couple, reports that we're negotiating with numerous players, but really nothing's been finalized, and we really haven't made any waves at all. We're just kind of standing pat, and that's kind of disappointing to see because we have a lot of holes to fill on our team, and especially along our defensive line. That's a huge hole for us to fill, and we need to add some depth and talent to that position. It'd be great to get a difference maker at that position for us through free agency, but unfortunately, so far the Broncos haven't done that, and we've only made one trade, and it was really, in my opinion, a real stupid trade. A trade that I still don't understand, kind of a head scratcher to me, and one I really didn't get at all, and I thought was kind of a lopsided trade for the other team we did trade with in that deal. So there really hasn't been much news to touch on when it comes to the Broncos. We just haven't been major players so far in the free agent market, and it's kind of been disappointing to see us stand pat while all these other teams are just improving their clubs and getting better and improving their roster and their team, while we're just kind of standing pat, especially when we have a lot of holes to fill. So that's unfortunate, but today training camp did start for the Broncos. That's great. We had our first training camp practice today at 8:50 a.m. Mountain Time. Great to see the guys back on the field. I didn't go to the training camp session. I'm going to try to make it out to at least one training camp practice this year. I usually try to do that every year, but I didn't make it out to the first one today. Like I said, it was at 8:50 a.m. Another one's about to get underway here in a couple minutes, and that'll be the last practice of the day. But the first practice of the day, a couple news and notes came out from that practice. Mainly that Kyle Orton looked great and apparently outperformed Tim Tebow throughout the practice, and a lot of people were also praising Brady Quinn for his practice. Apparently he performed pretty well, and there's some unfortunate news that guys like Brian Dawkins and Demaryius Thomas cannot practice. Apparently Demaryius Thomas cannot practice due to a Achilles injury. He's been put on the PUP list, and Brian Dawkins is currently reconstructing his deal with Denver Broncos management and trying to get that done and all that solved so he can get on the field and start practicing with the team. So that was some unfortunate news, but for the most part, apparently it was a real good, solid practice. Good to see a majority of our team was out there and ready to go. Apparently at the tight end position, Julius Thomas got quite a bit of reps, so that's good to see that he's getting a lot of the reps even as a rookie, and that he's competing for the starting job right now. We did make a trade on Wednesday with the Washington Redskins. I mentioned this before. We traded wide receiver Jabar Gaffney to Washington for defensive end Jeremy Jarmon, or I think it's Jeremy Jarmon. I didn't understand this at all. Obviously, Jeremy Jarmon gives us another big body, adds some depth at that defensive end position. He's a young guy. He has potential, but he has dealt with injuries so far throughout his career. He's had some injury problems, some durability issues with him. But he is a young guy. He does have a lot of potential. He only has 11 career tackles. So I didn't really understand this deal because Jabar Gaffney had a great year last year for us, had 875 yards, had a career year, and has been great for us throughout his couple of years here. So I really didn't understand this trade at all. I understand it, for Washington because they obviously have huge holes to fill at the wide receiver position. But I felt this was a real lopsided trade, for Washington. Like I said, Jeremy Jarmon is a young guy. He's got potential. We need help at the defensive end position and our defensive line in general. But this is a guy that has durability issues and really hasn't been too productive so far throughout his career. He's had a short career so far. He's still a young guy, like I said. Hopefully he can stay healthy. Hopefully he can be an impact player for us. But I think the Redskins won this deal for the most part because Jabar Gaffney, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated wideouts in the league. Like I said, he had a phenomenal year for us last year and has been a very productive year for us the couple seasons he's been here. So really sad to see him go. I was pretty upset with this trade. But, I welcome Jeremy Jarmon to Denver. Happy to have him. And hopefully, with him being a young guy, having potential, he can stay healthy and be a productive player for us. And I just want to say thanks to Jabar Gaffney for the great couple seasons he gave us here in Denver, and I wish him the best in Washington. It was really sad and frustrating to see him go. Just on Wednesday, we signed tight end Virgil Green to a 4-year, $2.16 million deal. Obviously, he was our 7th round pick this year. It's great to see him get the deal done. We also got to deal with Julius Thomas. I mentioned before that he was getting a lot of the reps today in the first session for the tight end position. He's competing for that starting job already. We were able to sign him as well to a 4-year, $2.59 million deal. He was our 4th-round pick. And then we signed a linebacker, Mike Muhammad, and a defensive end, Jeremy Bill, both to 4-year deals. Mike Muhammad's deal is worth $2.2 million, and Jeremy Bill's is for $2.12 million. So I don't know if those are the exact salaries they're going to make. Those are the exact numbers, but we were able to sign those 4 guys on Wednesday. That was great to see. All of them, I believe, were able to practice today in the first morning practice and ready to go, and that's good. Apparently Mike Muhammad was taking some first-team reps. That's good to see. He was a 6th-round pick, but he was a very productive player at the University of California, so good to see him making an impact right away and getting some first-team reps, as well as Julius Thomas, as I mentioned before. Today, we've made a couple signings and some big signings. We were able to sign Von Miller, which I mentioned in my video earlier in the week, that I think that was our top priority going in this offseason, is to get him locked up to a contract, able to sign Von to a 4-year, $21 million deal. Obviously, he was our first pick of the 2011 draft. We drafted him with the number 2 pick overall. He didn't practice in the first session today at camp, but with him signing this deal between the 2 sessions today, I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to practice for the evening practice tonight. So that's great to see Von Miller, him locked up, the whole negotiation thing with this contract done, because you want no holdouts from any rookies, especially with the limited time that all teams are going to have to prepare, and especially with the number 2 overall pick. You want to get that player signed as soon as possible, especially when it's Von Miller. So good to see we got that all figured out, that all solved, and that Von really only missed 1 practice. So that's good to see. Von Miller's deal is worth $21 million, and it is a 4-year contract. So good to see we got him locked up. Also signed our 2nd-round picks, Orlando Franklin and Raheem Moore, both to 4-year deals. I don't know what Raheem Moore's deal is worth. I don't know the official numbers on that. As for Orlando Franklin, his deal, like I said, is a 4-year deal worth $4.36 million. He was also taking a lot of first-team reps today in the morning session, starting at that right tackle position. Obviously, we all know he's probably going to be competing for that starting job with Ryan Harris, most likely not going to be returning with us. So good to see him already getting some good reps and quite a lot of reps with the first-team offensive line today in the first practice, and he's not missing much time. And we also signed Quentin Carter, the other safety we drafted in the 4th round. We signed him to a 4-year deal as well. All the rookie deals are for 4-year deals, just obviously different base salaries. And as I mentioned, I don't have the official number or how much Raheem Moore and Quentin Carter's contracts are worth. So the only draft pick we haven't signed so far is Nate Irving. Apparently his deal is all but finalized. The Broncos will make some big signings and some big trades here within the next couple days, and I'm hoping they do, especially along that defensive line, and especially at the defensive tackle position. I hope to see us sign some good players there, and hopefully get a couple impact players there, and just make some signings at all, because we haven't been active at all when it comes to the free agent market. So I'll see you guys probably for another video within the next few days, hopefully with some more news, some better news. But it's good to see that we have signed our draft picks, and especially that we got Von Miller's deal done today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support as always, and you guys take care.